This morning, there are a couple of developing stories from the Trump administration, including a pause on some of those tariffs, as well as new action to shut down the Department of Education. So Ed O'Keefe is in Toronto following all of this for us. Ed, good morning to you. So let's start with the tariffs. What are you hearing? What are you learning about it now?
Gayle, good morning. President Trump pausing tariffs on America's big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. Good news for them. But a call with Canadian Prime Minister didn't lead to any breakthrough in this new tariff war, what's become an increasingly personal back and forth. President Trump tapping the brakes on some tariffs until early April, after speaking with auto executives this week and telling them
they should get on it, start investing, start moving, shift production here to the United States of America, where they will pay no tariff.
But it's still full speed ahead for tariffs that affect Canadian companies like Conquest Steel, a family-owned firm outside Toronto that employs about a dozen people. Owner Rahim Molu said he started losing business in November, right after Trump won, and tariffs were threatened.
We started experiencing outright cancellations from our American distributors. I think it came as a shock to everyone.
Shock is certainly something a lot of Canadians are feeling. I gotta imagine anger, confusion, sadness.
I think, all of the above, but I think it's also important to mention that other than hockey, I don't think Canadians have any animosity or ill will to the American people. Canadians understand that it's not the American people who are making these decisions.
The president is launching the tariff war as he continues insisting Canada should become the 51st American state. Thank you so much. At Toronto's Café Belém, they've renamed the espresso and water drink widely known as an Americano. Now, they're pouring a Canadiano.
Any customer who comes in and sees that on my menu, they know immediately what side of the conflict I'm on.
As for tourism, 20 million Canadians headed south in 2024. But now, many, like Gabrielle Mendiola, are cutting back on travel to the U.S. after Trump's actions.
It's a massive insult to Canadians. We're already struggling in this economy, and to really be putting that on us, I think that, it's just very unfair.
The anger that Canadians feel is quite palpable, and the fact that they continue to say it's not necessarily going to end if this tariff war ends is notable. Now, the Prime Minister has put on retaliatory tariffs, and after a 50-minute phone call yesterday between President Trump and the Prime Minister, the President said Canada's still not necessarily doing enough to fight fentanyl, but he said the call ended in a somewhat friendly manner. Gayle?
Okay. These days, we'll take somewhat. Ed, before you go, I know you know about this. The reports that the president thinking about taking action to eliminate the Department of Education. There have been rumblings about that for quite some time. What can you tell us about the latest on that?
There have been rumblings for a while. In fact, he campaigned on a pledge to end the Education Department, arguing that federal oversight of schools should go back to the states. In this case, multiple reports say the White House is preparing some kind of an executive order for him that would begin the process of winding down the Education Department. His new Education Secretary, Linda McMahon, recently talked about this during her confirmation hearing, acknowledging that ultimately it's Congress that's going to have to step in and actually shutter the department, but that would take at least 60 votes in the Senate. And there likely would be legal challenges as well to the president's attempt to do this. We should point out, though, Republicans have been talking about ending the Education Department since the Ronald Reagan years, so not necessarily something new, but will be notable if the president actually takes steps to do it. Gayle?
All right, Ed O'Keefe, always on the case. Thank you so much.